Hey everyone, Eric with Rockin' HTV, and got a little distracted there with my TV, forgot to shut it off. Hey everyone, this is Eric with, like I said, Rockin' HTV. A little startled here because I didn't get this started on time or correctly. Anyways, what we're doing today is it's a Saturday edition, and it is session 101, how it's made Ford L9000. If you've been following me on in the Rockin' H No Secrets Lab, which you're welcome to join, I encourage you to join. I've been posting pictures there and in other places along Facebook. So, you know, you've been able to see how it comes alive, but now I'm going to tell you how it is done, kind of give you the pluses and minuses of what I did so you can go ahead and make your own. All right, here we go. Maybe I'll do this. Oh, come on, switch. There we go. All right, guys, so here it is. These are the trucks that I just finished, and I even put together a mini layout to go with it so I have a place to display them. So these are the L9000s. These are just top shelf replicas, Fords. You can buy them all day long for $20 to $40 depending on what color you get. They're tandem axles. There's some brown ones, which is what I bought. I bought a case of brown trucks that all had these 5-spoke wheels on the back, 6 on the front. So I bought a case of these, and then I used several of them to make other trucks and used parts. But the goal is to make these silage trucks for an antique looking fleet. So what we have here is just a standard fare of generic trucks that you just stretch and then add a silage bed to. So the bed is my 3D printed design. The bed on my Shapeways store cost $66.49 is what I added up this morning to get just the parts to make it. That would include the silage racks, the bed, the hoist, and then this mounting frame underneath here. So that'd be, and then it'd be basically $70 shipped to your house. Now I have 6 of them, but I bought these in China, which I got a little better deal. Well, I got a lot better deal. And you can see these look really slick too. So there's videos at rockinhtv.com showing how to assemble everything here I'm pointing at. So you have that information for you. This is actual aluminum mesh. And let me get that name for you. Should have brought that down, but here it is. I buy this aluminum mesh right here online at amco.com. Right here's the website. It's amaco.com. There's 3 16 by 20 sheets, and this will cost you approximately, well, I've had this for probably 5 years now, at least 5 years. And it was $30-some at the time I bought this. So but I bought it online. I can't find anything like this around my country. I have to buy everything online because there's really nothing out here that I can buy on my own without, I gotta order everything in. Okay, what else do we got here? Let me get you some more information. Here we go. Color on these is this color right here. It's Torita Red Metallic. I bought this at AutoZone here in Dodge City, and I paid $10 a can. I've actually burned up 3 cans of this on these trucks and then other projects that I just love the color, so I've painted some other stuff the same color. But $10 a can at your local, and this is a Duplicolor, by the way. $10 a can at your favorite store. Okay, so what else? Okay, now I would tell you, applying these decals, this was probably the most difficult part of the whole dang build. Why is that? To get these decals to lay down in these ribs was absolutely painful. Try as I might, I did 6 of them. You'd think I'd have had it figured all out by the end, and I still didn't. But you'll notice all of these, if you were to look at all of the decals on all 6 trucks, you will notice that none of them match as far as their spacing is on the truck. These 2 are actually pretty close on the driver and passenger side, but if you flip it over, well, I guess it's still pretty close, huh? Yeah, this one's behind that rib. So, I mean, you can see that none of these are perfect, and I'm here to tell you these were difficult. It took about an hour each to apply. They were just difficult, and it all had to do with trying to get them to line up correctly on the cab, and then translate that to the bed. And then you have this angle here, and then all these ribs that have angles on them. It was difficult. To apply the decals, I used microset and microsol. I used microset to have so I could slide everything around and move it, and then I did microsol to make them stick to the bed. It just really does a nice job of just making them stay almost permanently. Normally I would put clear coat over them to make them forever, but I already had them assembled, trying to get the lines to match up on the truck, so I didn't clear coat them. Decals came from right here, Bedlam's Creations, and I paid 61 bucks for the decals for a full sheet. And I can get more of these if someone's turned on by the, I mean, I'd love to share them with you, or to sell some to you, but this is all I have out of a whole freaking sheet. This is all I got left, because I ended up trashing a bunch of them as I was putting them on. They'd tear, and it was painful. You will notice, I'm going to try and show you this. Yeah, you could see that, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you can see it real well. Right here in that crack, you'll notice that as the decal dried out, it actually pulled away from that crease, so it's not laying in there. Let me show you an example. Here one is laying down perfectly in this crevice, and then not here, 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 and almost all the way back. There's only a couple of them where it laid perfectly in there. And it was just me learning how to do things well. They kind of got better as I went, but you'll still notice they're not perfectly straight in every case. You could see splice lines in some of these where they tore, and it's like, oh, for crap's sake, now I got to figure this. So I'd end up splicing things together to make them all go together and work well. I'm still pleased with them, don't get me wrong. But they're just not perfect as they perhaps could be. There's a couple of wrinkles up here. We're trying to get them to lay down over door hinges and this little silver strap, and so from top to bottom here, this is all one decal, okay? If I could have technically cut each line out, but that would have just doubled the work, and yikes. My attitude was getting kind of fussy about that. So that's that. To stretch this truck, you will need to have, little tip here, on these cabs, notice the exhaust sets back about 1/8 of an inch from the front of the back of the cab. There's about 1/8 of an inch gap between the cab and the bed. You will need to allow that when you stretch. Normally when I tell guys to stretch a truck, I say you want to go 3.5 inches from the back of the cab to the end of the frame. Here you're going to need 3 5/8 to make TSR, top shelf replicas Ford, work with a bed I sell. Well, or any other bed for that matter. Because if you don't give yourself plenty of room here, your bed's going to hit your exhaust. So just to keep that in mind as you design and build your own. When you go to stretch your truck, you can actually get in here and make 2 different sizes of channel iron or rectangular tubing, whichever you wish. You'll notice this one is shorter than this one because I snuck that clear back up there behind the cab. Okay, so I've got 2 different lengths of channel when I stretch this truck. And I will try to get, I didn't write down exactly what it is, what the measurements are, but I'll give them to you right here so at least you can have the confidence to do your own. And I'm going to go ahead and get a different ruler. Hello guys, Bob and Austin, good to see you. Alright, so we have basically 1 inch and 7/8 on the driver's side, and then approximately 2 1/8 on the passenger side. So 1 inch and 1/8 and 2, what did I say, 2 7/8? 2 1/8? 2 1/8 1 7/8, 2 1/8. Okay, and that will be the length of your channel or rectangular tubing. Now, I always dry fit everything before I assemble and glue, just to make sure everything is coming together well, so I definitely recommend that. And you'll notice this is an AS22, so it is 4 1/8 inches from long, and you'll notice it sticks over about a 1/2 inch on the back of the cab. Some guys don't like all this distance back here, but I remember growing up, well, and it's still around. I mean, you see tandems and they have a lot of overhang off the back. It's not uncommon, at least out here anyways. I don't know what it is in other parts of the world, but here out in southwest Kansas, central Kansas, it is not uncommon to see 4 or 5 foot hanging over the back of that frame, just like I have here. Okay? So that's what we got there. So just doing a bit, trying to think here. Okay, so with the decals, when you're looking at, this is just my cost here, okay? Where was I going with that? Okay, everything I'm going to tell you here is just my cost, okay? So, or not my cost, this is retail, I'm sorry, retail. So if you were to go out and buy all of the 3D printed parts off my Shapeways store, you go out and buy, let's say you get the brown ones and you can spend 20 bucks on them. Okay, so let's say you get a good deal on the trucks and you find these for the cab, for 20 bucks. And you buy the same color of paint, you buy the same decals, you're looking at $101 per truck if you were to do it yourself. Okay, so that would be buying the bed and all that out of my Shapeways store. This here, the bed, the racks, the hoist, the mounting frame, that's going to be $66 and change. If you were to use this color of paint, this is $10 a can, and I bought 3 cans of this, by the way, although I have most of this left. The decals, I spent $61 on, so about $10 a truck for decals. And what else was there? Oh, and then the cost of the cab itself would be about $20 if you got a good deal. Sometimes you can find them for 20 bucks and other times you can't. So good luck. I bought them by the case, so I got a really good deal on mine. I bought them for $15 each, but I bought a case of them, so I had a bunch. So anyways, you're going to spend about 100 bucks a truck if you do it exactly the way I did it. So if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments and I will answer them best I can. I'm overall pleased with these trucks. They're best viewed at 3 foot. Like I said, if you get up close on them, you're going to see where the decals pulled away. You're going to see they're not perfectly straight. You might even see a splice line or even a spot where the gold or the black flake ink on the decal paper flaked off. You'll also see some of these weird cracks where the decal just didn't lay down real perfectly over different parts of it. And then I have a couple of them. Well, I have one where the hood doesn't open because when I was taking it apart, I busted a hood hinge. So I just glued it shut. I figured out what the heck, right? I got 5 of them that the hood opens. But everything else worked out. Oh, one other thing. If you buy, depending on what kind of truck you buy, these were all brown, like I said. I took a black paint pen and painted the wheels black. And if you look closely up here at the edges, right around the edges, you can see brown paint left. Okay? But by painting them, I didn't have to go out and buy other wheels. And if you use this paint pen, let me get it for you. I used this particular paint pen right here. This is a Treehouse Studio. I think they cost $5 or $6 at Hobby Lobby. And they got this nice little tip on them. You can get right in there with a steady hand and paint them wheels all day long. very, very successfully, and I definitely recommend it. So that's how I did it, guys. That is the ins and outs. Just a second here, got to get my hand moved here where I can... there we go. So I hope that helps you. Like I said, if you have any questions on how to build anything that I just showed you here with these Fords, I'm in love with these Fords. I love the color. I love the decals. The decals were a huge pain in the butt, but they were definitely worth it. I love them. These make me smile. And last night I was so turned on, I said, hey, let's build a... I got my kids out here, and we planted a bunch of corn, and I made a mini display to show my trucks off, because now I need to look at them on something, right? Let me show you. So here it is. You know, this is dumb. All right. I'll just take you over there, right? We'll do it that way. Here we go. So this is a mini display I put together last night with my kids, and I finished it this morning. Basically, I had this much top shelf replicas corn left over from a display I did with Mock Farms. And so I planted that, and then just did an empty field, and then I made a silage pile this morning. And now I've got trucks going. There's way too many trucks for the size of my board, but I don't care. I love it. So I'm going to do it the way I want, right? And then... okay, and then all I need is choppers. So I'm not sure what kind of chopper I'm going to get, because I can't find them. So I didn't know if I'd have a 6 or an 8 row, so I've kind of left some blanks here so I can make it work when I get my choppers. But I've got hardly nothing in this display. So this was a scrap piece of styrofoam. These were left over, so I already had them paid for. And then, you know, $1 worth of toothpicks. And then I put black paint, equipment paint, down over this so you can see the black kind of coming through. It looks like dirt. And then I took actual dirt that I had sifted quite a long time ago, saving it for something like this, and sprinkled it over the wet paint, and now it stays in place. So now I need a packing tractor and 2 choppers. That's what I need. Anyways, those are the Ford TSRs and then everything else I've been up to. Like I said, if you have any questions on anything I've done, I'm an open book. Let me know, and I'll be glad to answer anything you want to know. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and share. And if somebody else wants to build a truck like this, or you see in a forum or on a message board something like this, where people say, how do you do it? Get them this video so they can learn and go down the road. Or learn how to do this yourself and then go into business and start selling these. And make sure, these are time consuming, I'm not going to lie. If you do a tandem of any kind, even with my 3D printed parts, they still take a little time. I mean, you're going to spend, well, you're going to spend 30 minutes stretching out a truck, and then depending on how elaborate you go with paint and all that other stuff, you're going to have at least 2-3 hours per truck in, and that's if you don't do anything real fancy. I've got a crap load of time in these. There's buckets of time in those, because those were just, they took a while. Anyways, all right, I'm done. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you later, and see you Monday night for Rockin' HTV session 102. Bye.